I can't even believe I have a take on this, but Keurig is dumb, Sean Hannity is dumb, and smashing your K-Cup Keurig machine is also dumb. Normally I wouldn't cover something this far outside of gaming, but I do have a bit of experience dealing with outrage mobs, and so for that, I'm specifically interested in that portion of the Keurig v. Sean Hannity faux outrage that happened over the weekend. In short, Sean Hannity gave an interview to Senate candidate Roy Moore, who is accused of some sexual misconduct. The key point here, the key takeaway is accused, not convicted, accused. This is one of my biggest problems with outrage culture on Twitter especially. It's a tool to convict people in the court of public opinion long before they ever get their day in court. Look at all the people's jobs and lives who've been destroyed by the mere accusation of misconduct, as opposed to those who actually ever get to court and get their day in court. Because their day in court doesn't even matter, because once they've been convicted in the court of public opinion, especially for something along these lines, they're forever tarnished. Now, over the weekend, a bunch of triggered lefties attacked Keurig and 3 or 4 other companies, in fact, to remove ads from the Hannity show simply for interviewing an accused senator. Okay? In addition to Keurig, there's actually 4 other sponsors who said they weren't going to run it. Eloquy, 23andMe, Nature's Bounty, and maybe that's just 3 others. Now, I am a firm believer, this is another reason why this is relevant to me as a YouTuber whose videos are often demonetized. Now that I said that word, this video will also be for dumb reasons. As a marketer, someone who runs an ad agency for large companies who spend lots of money every month buying ads on YouTube, I know behind closed doors, people don't really care. People don't care what Sean Hannity talks about. People care if he sells their coffee makers. That's literally the point of advertising. You want to have a cost per acquisition lower than your cost per sale, and you're going to do that as long as you have the budget for it. Now, meanwhile, with the lefties getting triggered by the interview, moving to pressure Keurig specifically to remove ads on the Hannity show, triggered people on the right started doing what I can only describe as lunacy, taking their K-Cup makers and smashing them. First of all, you've already paid Keurig the money. Okay, so you're just wasting $250. If you really want to boycott Keurig, what you should do is put it on eBay, get your $50, and buy a coffee maker. Now, I'm going to give you the real reason why you want to boycott Keurig here in a second, because I hold a special place in my heart for hatred of the K-Cup generation, the K-Cup monstrosity that's currently filling our landfills to the moon. Look, Hannity is not very... I'm not a huge fan of him. He has his right to his audience. He has a huge audience. If you like Hannity, that's cool. If you drink K-Cups and you think they're the best thing since sliced bread, that's cool too. Your money, your time, your choice. But if you're Hannity, do you really want to launch, and make no mistake about it, he was orchestrating and amplifying this boycott. Do you really want to punish advertisers like this? Think about what that does to every future advertiser. Let's say you're Nespresso now, and you're like, "Ooh, there's a coffee hole in the Sean Hannity hour. Must have been profitable for Keurig. Maybe we'll take it." Then now you have to question, boy, if we ever stop advertising for them, are we gonna? Is he gonna have a boycott campaign against Nespresso? Will Crest toothpaste think twice before advertising on his show now because of the way he treated this last sponsor? I believe the answer is absolutely yes. So this is not a smart move by Hannity. I think boycotts in general are pointless. Even though we see the CEO cave, so those that were involved in the boycott will declare this as victory, but ultimately, here's what really happens, okay? Keurig probably doesn't come back to the Hannity show. The sales, now Keurig apologizes. Guess what? All those people that smashed their Keurigs aren't going to go out and buy another Keurig. All the damage is done on both sides. Just like with the culture war in Marvel, my last video, which you should check out, there are no winners in this. There are only losers. The Hannity show's reputation gets tarnished for future advertisers. Keurig's reputation is forever tarnished amongst his followers and those like me who just happen to be on the fringes seeing like, oh, why is Keurig trending? And then they read it. Now they're sucked into it. I have no problem with an advertiser pulling ads, but honestly, it should be 100% profit and loss based, in my opinion. Now, if you have so much money, you're willing to turn down profitable advertising for morals, I guess. It's not what I would do, but I guess that's your right. I often think that companies who are not profitable with a certain venture, I believe this strongly with the YouTube apocalypse, because most of my clients are not profitable on YouTube. They spend the money for branding. I represent Fortune 500 companies that spend millions a year on YouTube ads, and they are not profitable, okay? They do it for brand awareness. They do it so when you go onto the search engines, you recognize their brand, you buy their product, okay? This is how brand marketing works. But I think the real reason a lot of these people pull out of YouTube is because they weren't making money, and this was a great excuse. Not only for them to stop advertising, but for them to virtue signal about whatever political ideology that appears to be winning. Keurig probably wasn't profitable and decided to pull out and took this as an opportunity to back out, or maybe they had a contract. For example, when you have large media buys like this, you usually have contracts. Something like this, they can probably use to get out of a contract. I don't know. But what I do know is the real reason you shouldn't use Keurig is not because they do or don't run commercials. It's because it's absurd. Look, I'm not a tree hugger. I'm not a tree hugging hippie, but I'm also not like a throw an empty can of beer out of my truck on the way to church on Sunday morning either. I think there's somewhere in the middle. And, not that long ago, just 2 years ago, many people on the left were attacking Keurig and K-Cup because at that time, the number was somewhere around 9 billion K-Cups ending up in landfills every year. Think about that. 9 billion K-Cups. And that is in 2015, okay? So now in 2017, it's safe to say that business has grown, and that number is probably 15 billion empty K-Cups going into landfills. Now, the other reason I don't like K-Cups is because they capitalize on basically being a smoke break for people. I work in a large office. I see people getting up from their desks constantly to go make a K-Cup. It basically is a training. It trains people like smoking cigarettes to go get a vice. You get up, you make a K-Cup. You want to take a break, you make a coffee. You do this, you have a coffee. Look, I love coffee, but the K-Cups are specifically capitalizing on the addictive nature of coffee, and which I don't mind necessarily, but what I do mind is how much of them end up in landfills. Now, there are biodegradable K-Cups out there. Good luck finding them on your grocer's shelf. You really have to go out of your way. Now, if K-Cup were to make the change to all of their cups, I'd probably have no problem with them. Even though, when you break it down, price per pound, the last number I found, when you break it down, the tiny amount of coffee in each one of those K-Cups, you're paying somewhere around $35 to $40 a pound for coffee in a K-Cup, okay? If you were to say, buy some black coffee, Black Rifle Coffee Company, just picking a name hypothetically out of there, you can buy 12 ounces, which is just under a pound, of what I would say more premium type coffee for 13 bucks. If you went and bought like Folgers, for example, you're talking about half that. The average K-Cup machine, the one that sits at my work, the one that sits in many people's homes, is much more than $100. It's $130, $140, $150 K-Cup machine. Just think about how much coffee that buys. And you can buy a really nice pot of coffee maker, Black & Decker, 5-cup coffee maker, $23 shipped to your door on Amazon. So over $100 worth of coffee, okay? So you can buy 6, 7, 8 pounds of coffee plus a coffee maker that uses biodegradable coffee filters for the same price as just buying a machine that's going to store the bacteria, that's going to keep you on a morphine drip of 1 ounce, 1 cups of coffee at a time. There's also the factor that if you drink coffee, not everyone's like this. I think a lot of people are just casual coffee drinkers and they just want 1 cup, and that's where K-Cup works. But for a lot of people, it was a novelty, and they switched over to it like I did, well, my wife did, a few years ago, and now I'm back to a $20 coffee maker, and I couldn't be happier. Slam the grounds right in there, put it in, put the coffee filter in my back garden, done. Biodegradable, 100 coffee grounds is good, coffee filter is good, not filling up landfills, and I'm brewing 5 cups at a time, so when I get home from work, I drink my coffee. Does a little go to waste? Maybe. Depends how long of a night is. I mean, today I'm making 3 videos, which I pre-apologize for. I hope they're all different enough for you to enjoy them. But look, K-Cup makers are at best a convenience, okay? They're not better than brewing a pot of coffee. If you want to get technical about it, you could use a French press, something along those lines, and get even better coffee. But that's neither here nor there. I also have a French press, but I don't always have time to deal with that. So if you want to boycott Keurig, do it for the environment, do it for the financial reasons. Don't do it because they're virtue signaling against another virtue signaler. Hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if it was so off topic. We'll talk to you again real soon.